Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today we're taking a look at the new Bortas. It is currently in the shop with the Star Trek update. It is a UK cruiser. Now, it's very interesting in the fact of it is very much like Edinburgh. It's like a poor man's Edinburgh. It has something interesting about it. We'll get into. Now, you could do a secondary build. We'll talk about why that's not a super great idea. But I am using Azure Lane Cheshire. Whatever you use on your light cruisers is what you're going to want to use here. So for me, I'm using Azure Lane Cheshire with a Kuzanov and a Von Essen to help with the ricochet angle of the ship shells. And the base trait obviously is cruiser main battery reload time and incoming damage to your citadel, which does come handy on British light cruisers. So we are using Beyond Range. Piercer is a good option too, but this ship and a lot of the British light cruisers don't have the range that you would really like out of them. Bounce right back, punch through, fixated, and fully packed. So let's go ahead and take our first look at the ship here. Some interesting things here. Really a great heal. That's if you don't get dev struck, this heal will help you out a lot. And you do have 3 sonars. Not super handy, but a little bit. So we will go over here. Survivability 3000, but again, it's a British light cruiser. It might as well say 0 there. It won. If you hit hard, it's over. You can get dev strike pretty easy in this if you're not careful. Now, your main battery. If you do the secondary build, yes, if you look, you get started off with a base 6.8. I used Madden. Let's see. I will show you the build here. I did actually use this as a secondary ship for a while. And this is the build I went with. If you do want, you can see. It didn't go super amazing. As you can see, I solo capped the base in this match. And then, of course, there was a Georgia. Every game I played in this thing has been a tier 7. Now, I was just having fun, and this was a lot of fun, but Georgia is the ultimate weakness, the ultimate kryptonite to this ship. That is for sure. If Georgia shoots at you at any range, you are going to die, probably. But at least we did get them back. The one big issue is when you do use it as a secondary ship, the main guns go down to like 12.7. You only have 8 secondaries. They do reach out to 10.3 if you do the secondary build. Like I said, wouldn't recommend it. I did it for about 4 games. None of them really ended up that well. Alright, so it does have torpedoes, 8 kilometers. They do hit pretty decently. And AA, do not rely on this AA, guys. This is not great AA. At all. So a lot of it is kind of closer in than it is out at the 5 kilometers. Maneuverability, this is a bright spot on this thing. While it doesn't seem very good, this thing is fun to get around in. And at the 9.9 concealment, you can 100% kind of sneak around in this ship. I would not be opposed to somebody building this into detection, although the reason I wouldn't is because you don't necessarily in this ship have the best tools to go after destroyers, but it is fun to go around and do that. But stats, this is going to be a train wreck, guys. Remember, I've used it as a secondary ship. It was pretty terrible as a secondary ship. Also, didn't have the world's best teammates on this one. I will say, in most of my matches, guys, I've had to spot for myself. The aircraft spotting mechanics, the aircraft changes, the spotting mechanics has been rough for me in some ways because In a cruiser without a division, sometimes it's tough and you do have to spot for yourself. But even with them terrible secondary games, you can see I am not doing awful with it. Now, 55,000 damage, that's lower than normal. That's probably due to the games where I just rush in and get depth struck in the secondary ship. Outside of that, though, pretty solid. I've been pretty consistent with this ship as just having it as a normal ship. And you can see average potential damage 1 million. This thing can actually take a beating if you angle, because you're gonna see here on the armor, this is kind of like a mini end, or kind of a poor man's Edinburgh. Like I said, it is. You do have a 30 millimeter bow and stern. What does that mean? Only only a Georgia, to my knowledge, can overmatch you. And I have been playing this thing at tier 7 pretty much every match, and for some reason there has been Georges in almost every match that I've went against in this thing. Georges are its ultimate kryptonite. That being said, though, if it's not a Georgia, you can tank a lot of hits in this thing. As long as you're not giving up your broadside. You don't want to just give up, throw out your butt just to throw out them rear guns to shoot them all off and then give up your broadside. You can shoot just fronts. That will help you survive a while. Now, the Citadel, this is what I'm saying. The whole ship is a Citadel, basically. And I can assure you, when you do misangle, and I have, in this ship, you turn into a submarine very quickly. The Citadel is basically, it feels like the whole ship, okay? And, you can bow tank people in this, but you cannot, it doesn't seem like anything overpins it or goes through the Citadel. It just sticks into the Citadel and explodes you. As we go ahead and start this match and check who we're up against, I do want to say it is disclaimer time. This is a beginner's guide to help out people just learning this ship or learning the game in general. This is not for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything. There is also multiple ways to build and play ships, so opinions will vary. I am just a above average player. I don't claim to be the best player in the world. I just am a pretty darn good player. So I do make mistakes. You're going to see some in this match. And also, you didn't come to this video to see how to pronounce names, as I am very terrible at slaughtering other beautiful languages. It's almost an art form, so keep that in mind when you're watching this, guys. With that out of the way, you can see we're at Northern Waters. We are again a bottom tier. I think every match that I played in the ship, I was bottom tier, which I actually normally like. This one wasn't so bad. I will say that new other battleship, premium battleship, that video come out in a day or two here. That one was in tier 7. That's a whole different story for that thing, though. But with that being said, the Bortas here, basically a poor man's Edinburgh. It could definitely be nice to have the smoke. I will give credit to my destroyer in this match. This is the one match where I didn't have to spot for myself the entire match. Now, I do spot for myself later, but at the beginning here, you're going to see that isn't the case. As you can see, I'm just going to chill behind this island here, kind of figure out what's all going up. So we see in Iowa, we're going to go ahead and just shoot at them. We're going to try to, anybody that we can, we're just going to get rounds on right away until we figure out what's going on. As you can see, Iowa is just kind of sitting there. Now, to be honest, he's right at the edge of my range here. And that does make some of these shells miss that would actually probably normally hit and do a significant amount of damage. Now, you're going to see that he kind of stays here. Now, I'm thinking about moving up to help out on that Azuma. As you can see here, we're trying to get into a position. I really want to help out on Azuma and back up Asunuma. A lot of people that complain about destroyers, if you're not helping get rid of the cruisers that are hunting your destroyers, you are part of the problem. So you can see Azuma started backing up because our carrier has started to take care of him. And Iowa is just sitting there. So we like I said, at the edge of our range. So we're not getting as many shells as we'd like. But we are going to throw down some shells down his way. I wish, honestly, if this thing had a smoke, it'd be one of the most fun ships. Because in this match, you're going to see we get everything that we can out of this little ship. Alright, so as you can see, the Z-31 is there. We kind of have an idea of what's going on. And at this point, I realize I have to be careful because also there's a carrier on this side. And also I believe there is another battleship over here to the right-hand side as well. So we are going to go ahead. And I was not moving, so now we're going to start chunking them. And he's kind of moved up into the 14 kilometers where we can actually hit him more. And that's what we're going to do. And we got to be careful here because there's a lot of people on our side. And we don't have a ton of help over here. And the one thing is, if you get a good island spot, as you can see, Iowa decides he's going to take a shot back at me because I'm spotted. Why would I be spotted? Because a destroyer has rushed, and this thing's little secondaries are going off, and we're going to do our best to make this Z-35 pay, and we have our sonar running just to make sure he did not send torps our way as we go ahead and get rid of that destroyer. Not a whole lot of matches you're going to see me play where I don't get rid of a destroyer. It's my favorite thing to do. So now that we see we're in a good position here, we're going to try to help get rid of Azuma. Azuma, to me, on this side is the biggest threat outside of the destroyer, which, as you can see, I didn't see it in the moment. I didn't see he was actually spotted there. But we are going to go ahead and do our best to get rid of Azuma. Honestly, I thought I was going to get a lot of Citadels here, and I just got unlucky. I'm aimed in the right spot, and I just didn't get them. You can see here, we're getting full pens. So, kind of surprising there, as you can see. Now the Colorado's coming out. Now remember, that Iowa I let go. So, we're going to see that Iowa again. But this Colorado is going to take up a significant amount of my time here. So, we're not spotted. Our destroyer did lay down smoke over here. And we're going to use it to our benefit. We are just going to keep unloading into Colorado. And this poor Colorado, man. I think I put 300 shells downrange in this thing. In this match. And I think Colorado, I could be wrong, but I think Colorado ate them probably 150 of them. And as you can see, a pretty even game right now. So I'm thinking if I stick to what I'm doing and get rid of Colorado, which right now is again now the biggest threat. And why is the Colorado the biggest threat to me? While I can't see, anybody else that's really an issue, he's mostly the issue because he's flanking. If he gets in flank on our entire team, he is 100% going to have broadsides, or someone on his team is, so we have to get rid of him. And you're going to see, this is going to be an annoying little thing where he gets unspotted and then spotted. I'm trying to keep them two behind the island to me, so I'm not spotted right now. As you can see, I'm kind of just keeping an eye, doing the best I can on this as I try to work Colorado down. And we've been fortunate so far. We haven't even gotten hit yet. Of course, he goes dark as I shoot. Why wouldn't he? Now our destroyer goes down. So you can see I'm starting to pay attention to the Bortas that is moving up right in front of me. And honestly, this is one thing I would have done differently. I would have 100% have put torps out here. This is a moment where you can see I completely forgot about torps. If I had torped this, it would have made it a little bit more of a struggle for him maybe to come up. Now we are down on teammates. It looks like we're going to lose. I am definitely not giving up at this point. 100% not. This still is winnable. Pretty hard, but is winnable. And I know you're laughing now, but we're actually going to make this a fun fight. This is gonna actually come pretty close here. So you can see we're going to light up Colorado again. This poor Colorado. I think if he had the chance, as you see, I'm gonna mix up what I do. By the way, I'm not just gonna stay straight, sailing in a straight line. Also, I'm not gonna turn out every time. Sometimes I'm gonna turn out and keep going full speed. Sometimes I'm gonna slow down. I'm not too worried about the Bortas behind me. And why is that? That is because he can't really get through me if I angle to him. I have to be more worried about being broadside to Colorado. As you can see, we're a little bit angled too far, but I've been kind of paying attention to make sure that we dodge the shells that Colorado is sending. As you can see, we send more downrange to Colorado. Again, that time we didn't turn, we just drove in a straight line. So we're kind of messing with them. You're going to actually see here in a second. Again, I'm going to keep messing with this Colorado as the aircraft carrier is now focused on me. I have made this entire enemy team pretty mad right here. And they're going to try to kill me. So we're going to keep backing up. We can't just drive at these guys. Eventually somebody's going to get an angle on us to Citadel, but we can run away and kite. And you can see how close we get here. I make one fatal mistake here. I think that he's going to be dead. I just assume he's going to be dead with that salvo there. So I start working on the Bortas. And you'll see I look over and he must have just healed in the right time. And he's going to be as annoying to me as I have been to him. That is for sure. I wish I could have gotten rid of this Colorado a little bit earlier, but he kept healing this whole time, so kudos to him. He was a pain in the butt target. We're going to now realize I have torpedoes, and then now we're going to throw them out, and we're going to do our best to get rid of them. Now, we lost the rear gun, and we lost our second rear gun, and that is one issue. As you can see, we get a big heal back there. That is one issue with this ship, man. The guns get knocked out like crazy. Now, I don't know if it was because I've been playing mostly against higher tier 7s for the most part. Now, in this case, this was a lot. I mean, we are bottom tier here, but we're fighting mostly a Colorado and a Bortas, or a Bortas. And honestly, like I said, the guns were a big problem. So you can see I'm on the border now. I don't like staying on the border. You're going to see why here in a second. You'll see that his shots, he must be using auto aim because they're going right over me. I don't like cheesing the border, so I'm just going to come straight off the border. Yeah, I know I probably could do better if I would have stayed on the border and made everybody miss, but to me that's not the way I want to play. So we're gonna go ahead and move our butts up here, and we're gonna try to even this playing field here. So we're working on Bortas. Now obviously we don't overmatch him either, so we're trying to shoot high, try to get some damage. Our carrier's annoying him. We're gonna take a couple shells downrange at the Colorado, hoping to actually finish him off. And as you see, we already have our high caliber, by the way. I forgot we had that. And as you can see, we get a double strike taking out Colorado and Bortas. Now, luckily, we knew that torps were coming. We had our sonar running, and that did save us there. And you can see we have even the playing field, right? Teammates are definitely going to help us win this. And down goes Graf Zeppelin. So I didn't actually give up here. Also, I was not paying attention to my kills or damage, or I would have actually done this a little bit differently. My thought here was if I help Cleveland get rid of that Iowa, which apparently did not get touched after I shot it, because that's about what the damage was when I left Iowa. I think he had about that much off of him. So we're going to go ahead and try to help our Cleveland, or whatever cruiser's over there, and you can see he dies too. So not much we can do there. Obviously now we're in a position that's really tough to win because there's a carrier on us against two battleships. So you can see I'm just shooting my guns to make sure I'm getting detected. I'm not trying to hide from anybody. You know, we're just going to keep shooting our guns off in this. Not too worried about surviving at this point. There's just too much here. This carrier was last spotted all the way across the map. Now, he did take the B cap, so we know that he's kind of close. I didn't realize how actual close he would have. Otherwise, I would have actually went after him. But as you can see here, there is Iowa. We're going to go ahead and shoot him. I didn't realize the carrier wasn't hiding behind one of them islands. He was out in the open. Had I probably would have tried for the Kraken, and I didn't realize we had a pretty decent damage game going on. I was just trying to survive for my life here. But you can see we have 300 and some shells done, and you're going to see here, basically, I see the carrier, and here I'm drop, and I look, and I just try to make sure I get hit by the carrier, to be honest. I wasn't too worried about how the outcome of this match was. You can see I slow down, then I speed up, and boom, we're dead. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Had I known we were one away from a Kraken and had a really good damage game, temporarily the damage record right now, we probably would have done a little different. So that would have been 3,400 in a win. Also, we made 1 million credits in that match. We really tried to help our team win. We didn't have the greatest matchmaking, but the ship was quite a bit of fun. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.